YouTube, what's going on? Y'all already know who it is, CJ the Barber Prodigy. It's been a while since I did any type of real barber content. Been working on this barbershop build out. Took a little break. Not really a break. I just been having hella heads to cut lately and haven't really had a lot of time to actually work on the build out itself. But today I'm gonna bring you guys some barber content. We're gonna work on tightening up this barber chair. I know a lot of barbers have this artist hands barber chair. It's kind of like one of the most common chairs, and if you have one, you already know they get a little loose from time to time. So I'm just going to show you guys how to tighten them up. The tools that we'll be using for this will be just a regular Phillips head screwdriver and some hex sets. And we're going to start with the arms. We're going to go in here and go ahead and unscrew these. So, yeah, I notice my arms are very loose on here. That's why I want to start here. And this is just some basic maintenance because, you know, as you have these chairs over time, if you don't take care of them, they will start to deteriorate and stuff starts to fall out in the middle of cutting. Screws will fall out. So, you know, always take care of your stuff. The same way you maintenance your tools, you want to maintenance your chair. It's like you change out blades. You want to make sure that, you know, everything's nice and tight. And it also minimizes liability. You don't want anybody falling in your chair or getting hurt in your chair. Alright, and as you see, once you take out these 4 screws, this plate just pops right off. And it reveals the screws that are inside. These are where the hex sets come in handy, because this is where we tighten up the armrests using these top ones right here. So right now I'm using a 7/32. I suck with fractions, so forgive me for not expressing that correctly. And we are just going to take it and tighten it down. First, let's make sure that this screw doesn't go in reverse order. Okay, yeah, so we tighten it the regular way, righty-tighty. Oh, my fault. My left. You're right. So what I'm doing is I hand crank it first just to make sure. And mine was really loose that it would even turn, you know, with my hand turning it. So it's been a while. I haven't really tightened these since I got it. Alright, and now that I've tightened that, guys, I went ahead and put the face plate back on and popped these first 2 screws in. We're going to go ahead and follow suit and get all 4 of them in. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So like I say, maintenance on these is very, very simple. And there you have it. The first side is done. And now to work on this side. And this one's very loose too. Let me let you see it. See, it's super loose. So we're gonna go ahead and fix that right now. And I like to use a screwdriver instead of a drill because a lot of the times drills, man, I cannot get this word right. Drills can strip your screws. And nobody wants that. When you pay what you pay for a barber chair, the last thing you want is a drill tearing up the screws. Nice and tight. Like they used to say, if it ain't tight, it ain't right. And I didn't tighten my bottom bolts, and excuse me, the bottom nuts, because they're already pretty tight. So it's just these tops that have been wiggling around a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and pop this plate back on. Also, another thing, I tell my kids this a lot, but make sure that when you put screws in, that they go in smooth. If you got to fight with it or you feel tension, 9 times out of 10, you are stripping your screws or your screw holes. Either way, it's not going to result well. You're tearing up your investment. Alright guys, so another area that I noticed that gets neglected a lot is when you let your chair back, in this little crevice, hair builds up in there. And you know, in your day-to-day cleaning, you might not have the time or might not take the time to get it, but we do want to take and dust this hair out of there. So me, I keep a spare duster, and this is what I use for cleaning out my chair. So I'm just gonna take and run that in there and get all of that dust out. And it's just small enough to fit in there. And also in between cuts, I'll wipe down you get the hair off of the edges of the chair too, just so that doesn't pile up in there. And look how much hair was just in that crevice alone. And now you can see it's all cleaned out. No hairs in there. Good to go. Alright guys, so another area that needs to get maintenance quite often actually is your foot pegs, or the stands for it more so. You got to make sure these are nice and tight. Even today alone, I had one of these fall off. And you know, me and my customers, we joke around a lot, and sometimes they'll be like, look at you, your chair is raggedy. But it's not really that the chair is raggedy, it's just, you know, from moving this around so much. And sometimes I'll move it with the chair all the way down, and what that does is it starts unscrewing these rubber pegs. So I always take a little quick minute at the end or beginning of the day and make sure that they're tight. That's a simple fix. As you can see, they're good and tight right now because I just tightened them up earlier. Alright, and the last and final area that I want to touch upon in this video is the base. So around the base, you get a lot of hair in these crevices. And normally I try to run a vacuum around the edge. I gotta get a new one. My handheld vacuum is damaged, so yeah, the base of my chair has been getting neglected. But yeah, you want to kind of keep this wiped down as often as possible. One of the mistakes I made was not using microfiber cloths at first. So as you can see, I've been wiping it down a lot and it's starting to streak. So I had to get microfiber cloths and wipe this down. But it's kind of too late because the damage is already done as far as the streaks go. But yeah, you do want to wipe it down consistently. Get you a nice cleaner, something not too heavy or something that won't tarnish the metal, and just wipe it down. I tend to like Windex, honestly. I find that Windex works really good down here and gives it a nice shine. I'm not going to wipe it down right now because I'm just being lazy. But yeah, we are going to do that in the future, later on today. But yeah, always keep this clean because presentation is everything when customers walk in and they see a nice shiny chair versus seeing a chair that looks like it's been through some things. Alright guys, that's it as far as maintaining your artist hands barber chair. Let me know what you guys thought about this video, and if you like to see more content like this in the future, hey, hit me in the comment section. I always respond. God bless.